As we've been hearing, the Conservative Party conference has got underway in Manchester. For the London Conservative group, it has been overshadowed by the defection of East London Assembly member Keith Prince, a Tory member for almost 5 decades who has joined Reform. The leader of the Conservatives on the London Assembly, Susan Hall, says she doesn't expect any more defections from her team.
When times are good and times are bad, the best thing for anybody is to be loyal to their party, but it's an individual's choice. I shall always remain loyal to the Conservatives. We're going through the doldrums a little bit at the moment, but we're on our way back up again, so it'll be fine.
Do you rule out any further defections from your party in London?
Yes, I do.
That sounded very definite.
Well, I don't know of any, so I suspect not, but it's politics, Carl, as you well know. Anything can happen in politics. All I know is that me and my team will carry on fighting Sadiq Khan in London because, goodness me, somebody's got to and the other parties don't. So we need to hold his feet to the fire.
The Met Police has thanked more than 20 other police forces who sent officers to help deal with protests in the capital yesterday. The Met says around 1,500 officers worked on the Defend Our Juries protest in Trafalgar Square, which saw nearly 500 arrests, all of whom have now been released on bail. Extra officers had to be drafted in from as far away as Northern Ireland and Wales. The Shadow Rail Minister says he's concerned there'll be less investment in new track and rolling stock when Greater Anglia is renationalised next week. The company, which serves much of the east of England, will become the latest to move into public ownership next Sunday. Jerome Mayhew said trains will now have to compete with other government departments for funding, but the government claim the move will save money and lead to a better service for passengers. Now, one of central London's most popular LGBTQ+ bars will close its doors for the final time tonight. Jeremy Joseph, its owner, says he feels Soho's Old Compton Street has lost its LGBT identity. He will now focus efforts on the nightclub Heaven, which he also runs. Victoria Hollins reports.
In one of Soho's most famous streets, one of its most famous residents is shutting up shop. Jeremy Joseph launched GAY 25 years ago.
Old Compton Street was the street to be on. It was the gayest street, it was the safest street, it was the place to be.
Finishing touches to glam.
It's inspired some big names over the years and been an institution in the LGBT community.
As a queer person growing up, GAY was always the place that you'd be like, oh my God, we're going to go to GAY, we're going to get our wristbands, we're going to go down to Heaven. And it was like a rite of passage. So to be losing that is so sad.
But owner Jeremy Joseph says Old Compton Street is not the place it once was, and safety is his biggest concern.
But I have no choice because I don't feel we're on a safe street anymore.
As we filmed, he received homophobic abuse.
Not full of people like this, homosexuals.
We were homophobically abused, he was very threatening, and it just kind of summed up exactly, I'm now shaking. That's why we have to go.
Other factors like rising costs and economic uncertainty are also playing a part in GAY's closure. City Hall says it's created a task force to address the issues facing the nightlife industry, and it says it's also due to get new licensing powers from government. But Jeremy Joseph says Soho needs creative thinking, like during the pandemic.
Why we don't have outside seating, 4 months a year, that adds life to Soho. You've got a mayor who thinks that this should be a 24-hour city, which great, but where is it? It's a lot of talk and not a lot of action. And, we're in a borough now that wants everybody in bed by 11 o'clock with a cup of cocoa.
Other LGBT institutions in Old Compton Street survive at the heart of Soho's nightlife. But at GAY, the sign's already down, and tonight will be its last.
It's not just a venue closing, not just an LGBT venue closing, it's another nail in the coffin of Soho.
Victoria Hollins, BBC London.
Thousands gathered in Trafalgar Square this afternoon to mark almost 2 years since the October the 7th attacks in Israel. The event heard from survivors and relatives of those killed or kidnapped. People in the crowd chanted "Bring them home," demanding the release of those still held hostage by Hamas. The Conservatives at City Hall have demanded a by-election after one of their Assembly members defected to Reform UK. Keith Prince has been on the London Assembly for 9 years. Our correspondent Simon Harris is at the Tory party conference in Manchester and sent us this report.
It came as no surprise to Conservative Party members that Reform would try to upstage their conference here in Manchester by unveiling the latest Tory defector. In the end, it wasn't a former Cabinet Minister or even an MP, but Keith Prince, a member of the London Assembly for Havering and Redbridge. He also sits on Havering Council, representing the quaintly named ward of Squirrels Heath. He's been a member of the Conservatives for 49 years, but said the party was done and dusted. His former leader at City Hall said he should resign and force a by-election.
It would be the right thing to do, to call a by-election. Reform came third in his area, so I assume he will do the right thing and call a by-election.
What do you think his defection to Reform says about the state of the Conservative Party?
The Conservatives are doing their best to regroup, to look at things, to give an offer going forward, and those of us that are loyal will remain loyal.
Keith Prince has no intention of putting himself up for re-election. He told me no one would thank him for calling a by-election because of the cost. Nigel Farage described his defection as historic because Reform UK now has a group of Assembly members, albeit a group of just 2.